Era embaixo da filmagem.
But it's extracted from
and so then from here, Rio Tinto came and did their studies, and then they found there's actually a large deposit of low-grade uranium here. And then they started developing the mine, and 1976 was the first year that we produced, that we exported.
Thank you.
The final product is called uranium oxide.
Okay.
The chemical symbol for that is U308, but it's 98% pure uranium.
Which we need to transform urine for others.
Use a leaching agent, sulfuric acid.
Oh.
Sulfuric acid is our leaching agent. There's no heat added to the process, only the sulfuric acid and a little bit of iron oxide and manganese dioxide for oxidation purposes. But sulfuric acid is the main leaching agent. That is what will dissolve the uranium from the ore to get the concentration of the uranium in the liquid to the desired level, and then we precipitate it back into a solid. So right at the end we bubble ammonia gas through the solution, and it increases the pH and it changes back from a solid.
How many activities to develop nearby community?
I use that money to implement activities around poverty alleviation, education, small and medium enterprise development. Another project is the Rossing Foundation also helps the San community of Namibia, very marginalized community in the eastern regions of Namibia. Mostly they live in rural areas where there are no schools, so the Rossing Foundation support the teaching of these kids through supplying teachers and teaching material to little schools around those communities.
Which community?
The San, S-A-N.
Oh,
San. In the old days we used to call them the Bushmen.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you extract a core from the rock, the geologists, and then they do their research on those samples. That's the exploration. Okay? So they will drill many of these samples, these core samples. Yeah, core samples. See, the uranium market is very down. The price of uranium is very low at the moment. So you don't get a lot of money for uranium itself. The other problem that is not unique to Rossing but unique to mines in the desert is of course water. Water is very scarce. At the moment we get groundwater from the national supplier, but in the future, towards the end of this year, we are going to switch over to desalinated water from the ocean. It's very expensive. Okay, so that's a big challenge. The other challenge is power. Electricity. A stable supply, consistent supply of electricity. Again, we get from the national supplier, Nampower, we get power, but water power tariffs increase every year, goes up and up. It's very expensive. The other problem is skill shortages. We have a lack of qualified people in Namibia, and there are other mines opening up, and they will poach your best people. They will steal your best people to go the rocks, to be able to load it and to take it to the crushing facilities to crush it smaller. So how do you loosen the rock? You drill a hole into the rock. This is a drill hole, right? 311 millimeters. It's 18 meters deep. 180. Yeah. So if I want to blast this area, I can have 50 of these holes next to each other. Okay? So each of these holes will be filled with explosives, 1 ton of explosives, and then the holes will be tied to each other with the cables and the chargers. And so we blast to loosen the rock. The blast will just break the rocks into smaller pieces and lift them up. so that we can come with the shovels and start loading it up and to put it onto the trucks. The trucks will take it to the waste dumps. If we know there's no uranium coming from it, we'll go to the waste dumps, which are around the edges here. Or if we know there's uranium, it will go to the crusher. In the crusher, you will crush it 5 times. Smaller and smaller and smaller until it looks like sand. You see the color, it's pinkish, pinkish, whitish. But in between, you have these crystals. It's quartz, normal quartz crystal. When you go to the crystal gallery in Swakop, you see the quartz. Normally the quartz is what color? It's shiny, whitish. That's the normal color. But because there's uranium present, the crystal changes to this gray color. So because of the radioactivity that's emitted, the crystals change into the gray color. So if you walk in this area and you come across a lascite with the quartz crystals that turned a little bit grayish, blackish, you know there's uranium. So as I've said, the uranium is inside, you can't see it. You have to dissolve it, but a little bit is on the outside. That's sitting on the outside.
Ok, então, muito bem.
Fine crush.